I want to talk about something that I think is possibly the most important thing that we could talk about for your long term development and success as a jazz musician. So, something I know from my own experience is that human beings like to get really into something. And then, as soon as it gets hard, or they reach a roadblock, or they hit a plateau, they stop. And like I said, I know this from personal experience. There's a lot of things that I've gotten into in my life that I thought were so cool and that I thought, hey, I'm going to be really, really good at this. And then I hit the first bump in the road and I realized, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not as naturally good at this as I thought I was going to be. And then I just completely stopped doing it. There's something known as the beginner's progress phenomenon where you make these huge gains and you go from knowing nothing about something to knowing something about something, and that feels great. It feels like your rate of progress is going to forever look like this. But then inevitably what happens is once we get past that initial stage of going from knowing nothing to something, our progress evens out a lot and the gains become a lot more incremental and farther apart. And this is where most people, including myself, just stop doing the thing that has gone from really fun and making me feel like $1,000,000 to not as fun because the progress has slowed down. Now, a lot of people experience this with music and jazz. And this is why a lot of people stop playing jazz and stop playing music in general, because they don't get that amazing feeling of I've made a ton of progress today, like they did at the beginning. But here's the good news. The only thing that you really need to succeed is to keep showing up every day. And if you keep showing up every day on a long enough period of time, you're going to win. Actually, you won't be able to help it. You'll win by accident. So think about this for a second. If I took out my instrument and worked on something related to jazz every single day for 10 years, it is actually harder to believe that I wouldn't be a good jazz musician than that I would be a good jazz musician. Now, I'm guessing that most of you are with me on that statement. It makes sense, right? It tracks. The thing that might be really frustrating about what I just said was the 10 years part. But I think 10 years is a really extreme example. Imagine doing it for 5 years, how much progress you would make. Now, for some of you, that still might be too long of a timeline to comprehend. I want results now, and that's okay. Well, think about doing it for 2 years every single day. Imagine how much progress you would make in 2 years. Imagine how much better you would be if you did something, no matter how little, every day. All right, now we're getting a little bit closer to something that maybe you feel like you can do. But I think some of you are probably still saying, well, my goal was by the end of the year to be able to go to the jam session and totally kill it. All right, well, I'm putting this out in late August 2023. So what if you made a commitment to pull out your instrument and work on something every single day from the end of August till January 1st? I promise you, if you did that, you would see major strides. But I think most of us, including myself, will come up with an excuse not to do that. I'm too busy. I have to go back to school in September. I'm going on a trip in 2 weeks. Something will stop you from showing up every day. And that reason, whatever it is, no matter how good or bad that reason is the reason you won't get the results that you want. So in a lot of things in life, it really does just come down to showing up day in and day out on a long enough time scale. And I can confidently say after 20 years of just showing up, not every day, but year after year after year, just showing up and working on the craft of playing jazz and the saxophone, it pays off. And I've gone through a lot of different time periods in my life where I'm studying very, very seriously and, practicing 6-8 hours a day, all the way through certain years in my life where I'm really unfocused and I just pick up the saxophone and kind of play whatever, and I'm sort of meandering through my practice routine, not getting great results in the moment, not very focused, just kind of lost, and sort of everything in between those two extremes. And of course, like being really focused and having a plan and having a great teacher and all that stuff is going to yield much better results. But what I've realized is that even when I'm at my lowest, you know what I still do every day? I still take out the saxophone and I do something that's related to the art of improvisation of jazz. And that is what has kept my graph sort of moving up, however slowly. So if you can make a commitment on a little bit longer of a time scale, let's say 6 months minimum, of showing up as much as humanly possible every day and doing something with your instrument, whether that's 5 minutes or 5 hours. I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to help but get better. So if some of you are out there just like at your lowest point, believe me, I've been there. Take a piece of paper, write down, show up every day. Put that on your wall. And I don't care if you have no other plan whatsoever besides that. If that's the only thing you do over a period of time, 6 months or longer, you're going to show massive results. Okay, that's it from me. I just hope that this finds somebody who's kind of like struggling and wondering whether they should keep doing this. The answer is yes. And the path to getting better might be simpler than you think it is. Whatever you do, don't stop. Just keep going. Talk to you all soon. Bye.